On the world news tonight from Baba Bagide Imo Television, first the headlines. Tinubu to AU, we will not let you fail to secure stability, prosperity for Africa. Tinubu's minister reacts to President Chicago University certificate scandal. Reps move to recover 10 trillion naira pension funds. Don't use IPOB's name for political points, Nnamdi Kanu families warns. Lagos court remands Naira Marley Sam Larry in custody pending police probe into Mohbad'S death. And on sports, Napoli president confident Osimhen will have extension of his contract. I am Morire Rebila Lawa, the news in detail. President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday assured the African Union AU of Nigeria's support in securing stability and prosperity for Africa. He gave the assurance in New York on Monday during a bilateral discussion with the President of the Union of Comoros and Chairperson of the African Union AU, President Azali Assoumani. The African Union, Tinubu stated, is strategically positioned to secure consensus positions for the continent on economic and socio-political relations with the world, particularly with Nigeria's stalwart backing. There is nothing that can bring development and prosperity outside of embracing freedom and constitutional order. It is a critical hallmark of sustainable development, a statement by the presidential spokesman Ajuru Ngelale, quoted by President as saying, "We appreciate that the AU is working hard to bring about peace in the Sahel and is actively negotiating between the warring factions in Sudan. Peace in Sudan will be a great achievement. I appreciate your effort in Burkina Faso and our effective cooperation on Niger. You can call me at any time and we'll discuss the peace and stability of AU member states. We need stability and prosperity for the black race. This is our era. We must be peaceful in order to take maximum advantage of the developmental opportunities presented to Africa in this era. We must build a model of sustainable development. Nigeria will collaborate with you, but we must move beyond those whose vision of Africa is narrow and evil. We are not afraid of confrontation, but we prefer to be restrained for now at this time." On this path, the AU chairperson, President Azali Assoumani, noted that the African Union seeks to complete Nigeria's effort in securing peace and prosperity in Africa, rather than competing with it. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, has reacted to President Bola Tinubu's certificate scandal at the Chicago State University. Speaking on a program, Tuga noted that the administration of President Bola Tinubu does not have time to waste on such trivial matters, adding that these are distractions. Tuga noted that the controversy does not cast a shadow on some of the recent international engagement that the president has had. There is a tendency to always try to distract and detain people on such frivolous issues, such opposed to facing the major issues of development. We don't have time to waste on that, he said. He argued that our former president, Muhammadu Buhari, experienced a similar controversy over qualification for somebody who has been a governor of a state, served 2 times, and has been on the national stage as a politician. The minister claimed that none of the international meetings the president has attended and interacted with have shown interest in the saga. The foreign leaders that we have been engaging and the international organization clearly were disinterested in wasting time on such. He added that as a result of a critical situation the nation is in right now, Nigerians should not be upset by the certification and instead should concentrate on development, adding that the nation's population is growing at a rate of 3% annually. The economic challenges we are facing, we shouldn't be wasting time about whether some certificate, whether there is a T mission or an hasn't been dotted. That shouldn't be our primary focus at the moment, he said.
Kids and qualifications for somebody who has been the governor of a state, served 2 terms, has been on the national stage as a politician. You remember the same, President Buhari had to go through the same thing, where people were actually questioning whether he went to secondary school or not. Someone who had classmates who was captain of his, he was head boy and all of that. So there's a tendency to always, try to distract, to detain people on such, frivolous issues, as opposed to facing the major issue of development. We don't have time to waste on that. And, the foreign leaders that we've been engaging and the international organizations clearly are disinterested in wasting time on such things. So we pay no mind to that. Nigerians should focus on development, and every Nigerian, because of the critical state we're in at the moment, our population growing at 3% per annum, the economic challenges we're facing, we shouldn't be wasting time about whether, some certificate, whether there's a T missing somewhere or some I hasn't been dotted. That should not be our primary focus at the moment.
The House of Representatives has moved to probe the pension fund status and retrieve the 10 trillion naira lent to the federal government. In a ruling during Tuesday's plenary, Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kanu mandated the Pension Committee to investigate the state of pension funds assets, which total over 15.5 trillion naira. The motion was raised by Aliyu Misau, PDP Bauchi State, during the plenary on Tuesday. Misau emphasized the vital role of the Retirement Saving Account (RSA) as the primary financial lifeline for pensioners, providing for their financial needs in retirement. He alleged that despite meeting the contributory pension scheme criteria, most pensioners encounter difficulties in assessing their retirement savings. Aware that the pension fund asset which PENCOM regulates, being the proceeds of the contributory pension scheme and returns on investment, stood at more than 15.5 trillion naira at the close of the first quarter of 2023. There is no justification for retirees not to have access to their RSA, worried that critical stakeholders have expressed concern that 65% of the funds, which amount to 10 trillion naira, loaned to the federal government, is an investment which exposes the contributors to unnecessary volatility as the federal government may fail to pay back the loan in due time. Being unable to access their pension has caused untold hardship to the retirees as they cannot afford even necessities, he said. Subsequently, the Legislative Assembly pressed the pension company to guarantee the immediate release of funds necessary for pension payment to all retirees in the country. Two days ahead of the governorship election petitions tribunal judgment, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's family has warned politicians and groups in Abia State against using the name of the indigenous people of Biafra to score cheap political points. In response to a press conference held by a group in which Governor Alex Otti of Abia State was accused of sponsoring IPOB in order to cause terror in the state ahead of the state governorship election petition tribunal decision on Friday, October 6th, the Kanu family described the allegation in its entirety as false and baseless. The younger brother of the IPOB leader, Kanu, who spoke with correspondents, what they are doing is out of desperation. If they have a problem of leadership in the state, they should go and sort it out. They shouldn't stop dragging IPOB into their hopelessness. What we're interested in is the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, where the federal government is still incarcerating in spite of court order to release him. Those who sponsor the press conference must have ulterior motives, their intention being to rubbish Otti. But if Otti has won election, he has won election and there is nothing anybody can do about it. But they should not bring IPOB into the issue. Over the years, IPOB has not been interested in their election. We don't meddle into elections. Our target is referendum and the freeing of Kanu and stop the fluffing of court orders, that's all. Emma said the IPOB, which his brother leads, has nothing to do with LP or OT, adding that trying to link IPOB with OT is out of desperation, adding that since his brother has remained the center of gravity and on numerous occasions the federal government had flouted court orders, he would have thought the group's press conference should have focused on that and not discussing IPOB, Labour Party and OT. A magistrate court sitting in Yaba, Lagos State, has remanded controversial singer Aziz Fashola, popularly known as Naira Marley, and Lagos socialite Balogun Eletu, aka Sam Larry, in police custody. Both of them were remanded on Wednesday for 21 days after the Lagos State Police Command pleaded with the court to remand them for 30 days, pending the completion of their investigation into the death of Naira Marley's former signing, Illyrio Lua, Aloba, aka Mohbad. The police earlier on Wednesday declared singer Owodunni Ibrahim, aka Primeboy, wanted, and 1 million naira bounty was put on his head for his refusal to honor their invitation in connection with the death of Mohbad. The command spokesperson, Benjamin Odeyin, who disclosed this on his X handle, described Ibrahim as approximately 1.64 male tall, dark complexion with tribal marks and Yoruba by tribe, and alleged that the suspect did not honor police invitation successfully sent to him since the commencement of the investigation on Mohbad's death. The command on Tuesday night disclosed that Naira Marley had been taken into custody for interrogation over Mohbad's death. The Commissioner of Police, Federal Capital Territory Police Command, Haruna Garba, has revealed that hospitals in the nation's capital city and across 36 states of the Federation do not need police report before attending to patients in emergency situations. The CP made the development known on Tuesday while fielding questions from journalists over a recent incident involving one Miss Greatness Olorunfemi, a victim of one-chance operators in Abuja, who, according to unconfirmed media report, was abandoned by medical personnel at the Maitama District Hospital to die for lack of a police report. Garba said this issue is not only about the Federal Capital Territory. Medical doctors and nurses are in a position to attend to patients in emergency situations. In fact, we have always said that if they feel that the patient could be a criminal, it is advisable for them to treat the person and contact the police while the person is still under their care. He further urged residents to be wary of the kind of vehicles they board, advising them to only board painted taxis from designated motorparks, noting that it is risky to board unpainted taxis, otherwise known as kabu-kabu, as they may fall victim of robbers unknown to one chance. The CP said, in the same vein, I wish to advise residents of the FCT to be wary of the kind of vehicles they board. It is advised that they should board painted taxis from designated motorparks. It is risky, as he said. On Saturday, the FCT Police Command revealed that it had instituted an investigation into a report that Olorunfemi died after medical personnel at the hospital allegedly refused to attend to her for lack of police report. The FCT Police Command Public Relations Officer, SP Josephine Ade, revealed the development in an exclusive interview with correspondent. The police are investigating the matter. The CP has ordered the Mabushi Police Division that was investigating the matter to immediately transfer it to the SCID, SP Ade had said. Adamawa State Police Command has confirmed the arrest of a 36-year-old man, Jafar Adamu, who allegedly had an intercourse with neighbor's wife in Long local government area of the state. This is contained in a statement signed by the spokesperson of the command, SP Suleiman Yaya Ngoroje, in Yola, the state capital, today. Yaya Ngoroje said the suspect was arrested September 15. He said that the suspect, who wore a face mask, had knowledge with the wife of his neighbor in Angwendel's Kala in Ong town. Unfortunately for him, upon committing the act, his face mask fell off and was recognized by the victim. He escaped but has been apprehended, the spokesperson said. He added that the police are currently investigating the matter and Adamu will be prosecuted. A man, Ifeanyi Ideze, who had a Kanu with a lady in church on Wednesday in Lagos, Tuesday sentenced to life imprisonment by an Ikeja Sexual Offences and Domestic Violence Court. Justice Abiola Sholadoye adding down their verdict after finding Ideze guilty of the offense. Sholadoye held that the prosecution proved the charge of the sexual act by penetration against a convict. During the trial, the prosecution called 4 witnesses, including the victim's 6-year-old brother, who testified that the convict act during a church program around 9 p.m. did the act and sexually made the act in a private part. The victim's mom also testified that after they got home, while she was bathing her, she was bleeding previously and she was taken to the hospital where the doctor advised her to report the matter to the police. Prosecutor told the court that offense was committed on October 29, 2020 at number 18, Salau Street in the Surulere area of Lagos State. Delivering her judgment Tuesday, the judge said the ingredient of sexual assault by penetration would thoroughly satisfied under Section 261 of the criminal law by the prosecution. This is an unforgivable behavior. The defendant is hereby found guilty of the act with the victim and is hereby sentenced to life imprisonment. She also ordered that the convict's name be written in Lagos State Sexual Offences Register. Moving on to the next story as foreign news. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tugar, has stated that it is time for Nigeria to be a member of the United Nations Security Council. Tugar, who made a live appearance on Channels TV on Wednesday, stated that the nation is due to sit on the international decision-making table. It's time to reform. It's time for Nigeria to be in there. The Security Council, the minister said. In terms of democracy, we are also looking to we're also looking to democratize the global system. We are agitating for that. Nigeria needs to be on the big table where decisions are taken about the global economy and the entire planet. That is why it's important for us to be participating in the G20, he said. The United Nations Security Council, a division of the UN, has the primary responsibility of preserving world peace and security. It is made up of 10 elected members and 5 permanent members: China, the United States, France, and United Kingdom, and Russian Federation. However, the minister demanded that the UN undergo reform, describing the permanent membership of the councils as an old thing. Of course, we are calling for a reform of the United Nations because the Security Council has 5 permanent members. This is anachronistic and old thing that came about at the end of the Second World War, he said. When quizzed on the criteria the Security Council would use to decide if Nigeria should be admitted, the minister responded that Nigeria's population size and role in the liberation of other African nations give it an advantage. We are the largest country in Africa, and 50% of Africans are Nigerians. We are projected to become the 3rd largest country in the world by the year 2050. We are the largest economy. We have always been a leader who stood up and championed the liberation of African countries from racist regimes, he said. It's going to be India, China, then Nigeria. Lastly, on sports. Napoli president Aurelio De Laurentiis is confident Nigeria striker Victor Osimhen will sign a new contract at the club. Osimhen was in discussion with the Serie A champions over a contract extension in the summer. The Nigerian international was recently angered by a TikTok video posted by the Pentnopi last week. The video mocked him for missing a penalty in a 0-0 draw against Bologna. Napoli released a statement after the incident, but were criticized for not apologizing to the striker at once. There were reports Osimhen could leave the club in January or next summer. De Laurentiis has, however, poured cold water on such reports, hinting that the player will remain at the Estadio Diego Armando Maradona Stadium. Victor, always strong, he is a player who makes a team on his own. He is not in question, De Laurentiis told Cruncho TV via Eurosport. Osimhen will renew the contract because the players are here, and here they are happy. They only become sad when they leave. The 24-year-old Osimhen has 2 years remaining on his current period with the club. With that sports story, we've come to the end of today's world news. Before we go, some headlines. Tinubu to AU, we will not let you fail to secure stability, prosperity for Africa. Tinubu's minister reacts to President Chicago University certificate scandal. Reps move to recover 10 trillion naira pension funds. Don't use iPod's name for political points. Nnamdi Kanu families warn. Lagos court remands Naira Marley, Sam Larry in custody pending police probe into Mohbad'S death. And on sports, Napoli president confident Osimhen will sign contract extension. For updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Baba Bagidi Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagidi Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement of goods and services, coverage of events and function, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawa. Good evening.